Hello guys, my name is NaToSaphiX and today I'll be your host for this Play.gg video. Today we'll be taking a look at Astralis 2018 and Astralis 2022, and hopefully we'll be able at the end to answer the question, which team is better? Obviously, if we are just going by achievements only, Astralis 2018 is by far the better team, but what I'm looking to answer today is, if we took the Astralis 2018 team and transferred it to today, would it be a capable team, a top team, or would they still dominate the Counter-Strike scene? I have picked out a lot of different rounds between Astralis 2018 and Astralis 2022, so we'll be able to sort of compare them. For 2018, I've picked out the best Astralis demo of 2018 in my opinion, Astralis vs Na'Vi Grand Final of the FACEIT Major. What is really special about Astralis 2018 is their ability to never let an angle go unchecked. But it's not just about the fact that they do check it, it's the way they do it. Glaive is all the way on the right and Device on the left, and immediately after they speed up after the kill and almost get a freebie onto Flamey. At this point the round is more or less won, but with Simple shooting at ramp, Glaive is pushing into him, and when he falls back, Dupree immediately peeks from the other side and takes down Simple. Just phenomenal team play. And SaphiX is also strong in the duel here. Here is another round where Astralis make it down to the secret area, and this round actually quite quickly falls apart. The lobby lurk dies in SaphiX and then Simple takes down Glaive, but look at these fast kills from Dupree. Just like that, Astralis are back into this round. And even though all three Astralis players drop in this round, Flamey is a little too slow onto the bomb and he does not have time to defuse. After abusing Secret twice in a row, look at this round where they get the perfect timing on this A crunch. A fast kill from SaphiX and the door player, main player and hot player all peek at the exact same time. They catch Na'Vi off guard with a great call and then they all peek in the exact same timing. This is perfect team play and they win the round in dominant fashion. Here is another great example of the team play that Astralis 2018 possessed. SaphiX with the spray transfer, but look at the HE and the Molo coming in to save his life on top of it. And while all this is going down, the bomb is being planted on the B bomb site. I always write notes about these rounds, and for this one I just wrote everything perfect whole round. They do secret smokes and a Molo that late burns electronic exactly on the timing when Glaive peeks it. After the pace has been taken out of the round, Zeus pushes door with Edward pushing from hot. They go 1-for-1 in the trade here, but look at what Astralis does. This might just be my favorite round of Counter-Strike I've ever watched. With the space taken outside, Device and Glaive have now gone under heaven, and are wrapping all the way around. Simple is aware of this possibility and holds his back on ramp. Edward hears Magisk running away from lobby at this moment and assumes it to be the bomb. It would make a lot of sense for Magisk in this moment to bring the bomb through main and Device and Glaive, who took the earlier outside control, to be splitting in through heaven. Edward assumes that the lobby area is clear, and because of this he fully tunnel visions on heaven. Very quick thinking by everyone on Astralis and a great peek by Device. In this one, my notes say everything perfect, and it is honestly just what I would use to describe this whole demo from Astralis. Magisk gets not one but two kills here, and as he is falling back, Dupree steps forward to save his ass. Dupree does so, but gets taken down later on. Somehow, this is all a big fake, and at the same moment, Device and SaphiX are taking ramp control. Both CTs were spotted over on the A bomb site, and they know that this area is completely clear. With this, the CTs are left to save. Na'Vi realize that they have issues and Flamey tries something different. He picks up an AWP, but look how Astralis flash him perfectly, and when he actually regains vision, Device is already holding his angle. Just like in the secret round we saw at the beginning, Device off of this one entry kill speeds up and catches Electronic completely off guard. Again, at this point, the round may as well be done. In the exact next round, Astralis again do outside pressure, but this time it is sort of a fake. They are hoping that Na'Vi overstack outside and it works out perfectly. There is so much ramp space that Magisk and SaphiX take. And what I really love from Astralis 2018 here is the fact that they just sit down, hold angles, and as soon as anyone tries to regain any kind of control or even just info, they get completely destroyed. This Astralis lineup was just always a step ahead. Whenever Na'Vi would take a gamble, it felt like it was Astralis wanting them to take that gamble and not Na'Vi themselves. How scary must it be to whenever you try to regain any kind of control, you just get completely destroyed. There is really only one thing you can do against this. After coming off of a halftime segment where the casters say, even though it's a grand final of a major, you still wonder if Astralis are smurfing, Na'Vi actually managed to pick up the pistol round. Astralis decide to gamble in the second round of this half. They send 2 guys downstairs with CSATs, and it's gonna be more. As if this first bait setup wasn't enough on its own, look at this second bait setup with Glaive taking contact, breaking the glass, running around on the outside, and then when Sipnix gets the second contact, now Glaive comes in and takes down Edward. Sipnix then even takes down yet another player on Zeus. So with this round fresh in your mind, it makes so much more sense why Na'Vi decide to do what they do here, where they do 3 outside smokes and Glaive does this very legendary smoke that I'm sure most of you have already seen at least once before. In this moment, Na'Vi are completely paranoid, so insanely afraid of what just happened, and they allow Glaive to completely take control of this round. About 30 seconds later, Na'Vi finally managed to make their way down secret. But with Astralis knowing this and with the timer running so low, these 2 entry frags from Electronic are not going to be enough for Na'Vi to win the round, since Device is taking down Na'Vi player after Na'Vi player. There were a ton of what I would call perfect rounds and not a single bad round in this entire map. I've left this one in where they win the map eventually, and it is because a certain someone who we can never forget decides to step up and end it for Astralis. Astralis kept Prime 2018 Simpu, who had the best individual year of any CSGO player in history, to a modest 9-18 score in this map. Now let's move over to Astralis 2022 and their match against Big in the semi-final of the Pinnacle Championship. I think a lot of people who are picking out Astralis' best recent performances will be picking the match in Blast against Heroic on LAN, but that was in 2021, and even though I kind of could let that slide, it was with a different lineup. It was with Lucky. So for me, the best sort of achievement, or at least the biggest match that Astralis 2022 have won, is this against Big in the semi-final of Pinnacle. I quite like this round from Astralis, where Glaive goes out and gets an entry in mid, takes a very forward position and has his team sell a fake over towards the B bomb site. This pulls the CT rotation away from mid and gets Tabson to focus on the B bomb site, granting Glaive a little bit extra room to maneuver in. Glaive manages to kill the last remaining A player, but with the timer being so low, there's no turning back, and Glaive has to go over, get another kill, and in the meantime, his teammates die. Just 2 rounds later, another notable thing happens. Here, Farley is gonna get an early entry, which turns into another. And eventually another. And while this all looks great, this is just seconds before disaster strikes, where the Astralis of 2018 would always clear sort of the available corners. In this round, Faven goes unchecked, and with Tizian's first 2 kills here, it turns Astralis' 5-on-2 into a 2 versus 2. And it's not just any 2v2 either. It's a very tough nut to crack. With Config using a smoke here, Tizian pushes in front of it, takes down Config, and eventually no-scope Sipnix. And yet again, just 2 rounds later, Config gets 3 kills in mid, and with Farley searching up Banana, he drops the angle at the worst time. Very unfortunate, but just something we didn't see from the other Astralis demo. Now this next round is just a great Astralis round through and through. They beat the mid util on SaphiX, and for some reason Big decide to completely disregard it. With the A util coming in, it gives extra space for the mid players who are gonna be finding a lone defender in the donut area. Now a 4 versus 4 with 2 guns and a bomb plant. Here is Config taking a pretty aggressive position, taking down Faven and buying even more time for the defense of the bomb plant. Config manages to weasel his way into tempo and gets another frag for his troubles. As if that wasn't enough already, he takes down Tabs into 24 HP, and while this is going on, Farley flanks around from Donut to behind the CTs to lock in this 4-spy round. And I wish that I could only show you perfect rounds in this video, but it wouldn't be an honest video if I didn't show you the questionable ones as well. In this round, it's a 5 versus 3, Astralis know they are up against Eco, and instead of Farley exiting this area with his teammates, he decides to stick around the A main and eventually gets overrun by 3 pistols. He loses the AWP, they take it into the next round, and yeah, the AWP has a very big role to play in the coming round. Round 10 is definitely the weirdest round in this matchup. Astralis don't take mid with their mid util, even though there is actually a gap left in their smoke. They wait and wait and wait, and then eventually the first person to move is actually one of the B players, BlameF. Tizian takes him down, and Astralis as a reaction decide to walk out mid with no utility. This saved AWP that they gave up last round becomes the sort of nail in the coffin for Astralis in this round. Or so you'd think. SaphiX manages to take down Sillassen with a phenomenal shot in mid, and then we see Glaive hold one of these Astralis type angles that we saw a lot of in 2018, where when the CTs re-push for info or for map control, they immediately get taken down. With the rotation player dead and a B player dead on top of that, they have to assume that B is only occupied by one man, so they decide to speed up and take him down. What was a 3 versus 5 immediately turned into a 3-on-1 that Astralis are very comfortably going to win. What I didn't expect when going into this demo was how many of the rounds are actually decided mainly off of Glaive and SaphiX's plays. In this round, Config goes down early on, he's creating the space that Glaive now uses to take down Sillassen, and then even catches another kill here in mid onto Tizian. At the same time, on the other side of the map, SaphiX takes down one and then the second, and just like that, the round is over and done with. Here is the second half pistol from Astralis Big. BlameF with the dual reticent cave doesn't let himself get too scared by Big sort of trying to push him back, and kind of regains info and even a kill. With this, he now clears Banana and he can very safely assume that Big are going over to the A bomb site. This is something that Astralis 2018 were phenomenal at. They knew exactly when to sort of give up an area or when to fight for it. In this case, BlameF fights for it and they just straight up win the round off of that information and kill gain. Decided to include this short clip as well where Tizian has found a timing. Astralis 2018 were never really leaving gaps, and when they were, they seemed always hyper aware. In this case, Config dies with his knife out. I will use this final clip to conclude, and the conclusion that I've come to is that if you transferred the Astralis 2018 lineup directly as it was into today's Counter-Strike, I sincerely still think that they would be the #1 team in the world. It's obviously hard to say because we have Na'Vi who are sort of on an era run themselves, but what we saw from Astralis was just picture perfect rounds time and time again, and what they were really known for was that their lowest level was still extremely high. With Na'Vi, there have been times where they've been losing out the opening matches on LAN, and I would say putting Astralis 2018 against Astralis 2022 is just simply not a fair comparison.